Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, today we start making hay. We got a few acres down, and it's probably about 15, give or take, but it should be dry enough. But we got to head down to the shop, pull out the rake, and get it ready to go. And in about an hour, we're gonna get on the field and get this stuff raked together. All right, made it to the shop, and we've got the Kuhn Speed Rake SR112. So it is a 12-wheel rake. For the most part, we really like it. 90% of the time. There's a couple of times if you just want to flip hay over, like you raked it one day and you just wanted to flip it over the next day, they're not the greatest. A bar rake is probably better in that area. Wheel rakes, they're good for going fast. They're good for pulling volume together because you got 2 rows at a time, especially for Dad and I, when you're talking about limited times, limited opportunities to get stuff done. This thing does just what it says. It is a speed rake. You go fast. If you can stay on, if you can hang on, you can get it raked. So I've only got about 16 zerks on this thing, and it's ready to go. One of these tires has just a very small leak. And I think it's the other side. And you'll pump it up once for the year and it's golden. All right, greasing is done. Pretty straightforward. There's nothing super scientific about this thing. The one thing that is a little tricky are these wheel bearings. So they give you a zerk for each one, but you gotta watch out how many pumps. You don't wanna put more than 3 pumps in here. 2, 3 max, because after 3 these little caps pop off and it'll look like this, and then you want to go and tap them back on and they don't want to go back on and they bend and all that stuff. We have lost one in the 8 to 10 years that we've had this one right here. I need to get a new one, but we keep it pretty well greased up, so I'm not super worried about it, but I still want to get a cap for it. It should have one. All right, we're gonna start out with the piece right next to Mom and Dad. The only thing we're never really sure of right when we start, depending on how thick the hay is and type of hay, all that kind of stuff, is how wide our windrow is. So Dad did 4 outside rounds. We start on the inside, do everything inside, and then finish with 2 rounds, 2 rows on the outside to finish everything off. Liking the width. I like it to be a little wider. Dad likes it a little narrower. Not a big deal, but we're gonna rock with it right now. All right, first field is done. We're gonna skip over to the next one. It's only about 2 acres, 2.5 acres, so that won't take too long. All right, so we made it down to the pit field. We got about 9 acres, and that's actually really good. Volume wise, it seems pretty decent, so we'll rake it up, see how she does. So it's been a few rounds. There is a little bit of green in here. Dad actually said he thinks the stuff next to the house is actually a little thicker. I think it has a little more clover in it. This has a little bit more grass. At least it's good grass, it's good orchard. But for the most part, this stuff's like 90% dry. All right, we are rolling on our 2 outside rounds. This will only take a few minutes, and then we'll be done raking for the day. Done raking for the day. We knew it was only going to take about an hour. Time is, yeah, about a little over an hour. So not too bad. We're not going to start baling until about 3 o'clock. All right, so I was able to add another part of our fly control arsenal, and that's another bag of the Redmond, but it's got the garlic in it. So it's just the trace, but they add garlic, supposed to kind of get in their system, and then flies are kind of repelled by it because it gets kind of excreted through their sweat and all that garbage. So when Dad dropped me off, I said, hey, you know how we're gonna start making bales today? And then we're gonna pick them up in a few days. We got a bunch of bales that we gotta move. I still think it was, you know, he gave me grief because I wanted to feed the bales going across the rows because that's how it would keep our, any kind of variety that's in our hay a little bit spread out throughout the winter. So basically what we're getting at, all of this hay needs to be over here. A lot sooner than later. So the first row up against the fence there, up against the wire, that's corn stalks. I think I'm gonna put, right next to it, it's open. Now granted, again, that was probably not the best place to put the manure spreader. We've got 2024 bales that I wanna use over the summer here, and I think those are 2024 as well. So I wanna start sticking 2025 hay in these 2 rows here and start bringing it out. I threw the 3-point spike on. We don't use this guy very often, but it does come in handy, especially in a situation like this where I'm bringing bales back and forth. I can already see that I might need to try, well, either one, spike it a little lower, or I got to crank on the 3-point arm, the top link, to bring those together to raise that spike up in the air a little bit. I've almost got it all the way together to begin with, but I should be okay. So we got the straw moved. That's our first step. Change of plans. We're gonna rake the field across the road that Dad cut yesterday. That's pretty darn dry. All right, let's jump on the 4-wheeler, head down to the shop, grab the 2030, and we'll go rake that up. Only gonna take about half an hour. That's like another little 3-acre chunk, but only took about 20 minutes. Got her all done. All right, let's head back to the shop, get Dad ready to go. Let's bale up some hay. And Dad was able to get a little bit of his lawn cut while he was waiting for me. And who knows, maybe I'll finish it up after he gets going. At least his front lawn gets done. But since I've got that grease gun down here. I got those 2 Zerks I gotta hit that I can't hit with the battery, with the Milwaukee. So after that, this thing's ready to rock and roll. All right, the New Holland roll belt 450 or RB450, however you want to say it, ready to rock and roll. Got back to the 2030, figured I'd double check to make sure that the 44 was fueled up right on E. So ran that down to the farm, filled her up with fuel while Dad finished his lawn, and actually I think he got done with his front lawn right when I got back, so that ended up working out all right. We're gonna go right to the field right next to the house here and fire it up, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so this looks like it was pretty green when we raked it up. I mean, there's a little bit of moisture in there, but this is grass hay. Honestly, it's not gonna mold. There's so little moisture in there. But cool thing is we do have moisture sensors on there, so we get an idea of what they are running at. All right, we did tick it down to 3 wraps versus 3.5. I will say the start ability of a bale with that baler is light years better than our case baler, which is essentially a New Holland. But I mean, it should. It was like, this is like 15 years newer, if not 20. But let's catch up. Yeah, bales start really nice with this thing. Probably take a bale or two for everything to kind of work itself in. Net wrap should be going. And it's cut. Bale eject. Perfect. Right out of the gate. All right, let's do the normal. How does the bale look? And I think for us, we still get, whether it's over or not over, I don't know, maybe it's just the baler, but very solid. First bale out of the gate, that's awesome. It wrapped perfect. Everything went perfect. It was good, very good, very nice. All right, here's bale 4. Just got the pickup oiled up. I knew it did just take like a second or two, but oh yeah, like right out of the gate, this thing is wrapping nice. Everything's cutting nice. The pickup's working. It's awesome. That's what we wanted. And as long as we're waiting for Dad to get those 2 little fields done, figured I'd come over and we'll move a couple more bales. Yeah, we'll jump on the Mahindra and move a few more bales. Dad and I kind of talked about what's out here and where we're gonna move it. So kind of like I was saying, we've got the stalks, we've got the straw next to it, we've got the 2 rows of 24 hay, and then I'm gonna start bringing 25 hay into these 2 rows here. Well, Dad is heading down to the pit field, so I'm gonna jump on the 4-wheeler and we'll go watch him get started down there, see how he's doing. You know what I did forget to check? To see if there's any hay jammed in our little mod last year. we'll catch up. And when he pumps out the next one, I want to take a look at those little guards we put in there last year. Went out. Nothing in those things down there. We're pretty happy with that upgrade. I don't know why you wouldn't want those guards on everything. Because I mean, we did like 10 or 15 bales and I spent half an hour trying to dig the hay out of it. I don't know why you wouldn't have had those guards on there. I don't know. But having them in, they're awesome. Yep, so the new Holland RB450 or roll belt 450, working like a champ. Everything's looking good, so we're gonna head back, move some more bales, and feed out a bale. All right, it's been about another half hour, 40-ish minutes or so. I'm gonna head back down to the pit and check Dad out and see how he's doing. And then when I come back, then we'll take a bale out for the cows. But yeah, we haven't had to touch this thing since we started. That's nice. Well, again, plans changed a little bit. I think I found something that's not overly exciting. Right here. I think we have a small puncture because that wet stuff smells very much like molasses, or very sweet, which is the beet juice that's in these tires. The tire doesn't look low. I wonder if like that stuff, maybe it's just so small that the beet juice is actually plugging the hole. So I'm not going to do any more bales. I was taking the spike off anyways when I noticed it. I'm still going to grab a bale for the cows, but I'm just going to put it in the feeder. Or yeah, I think I'm just going to put it in the feeder just so that we're done, and then I'll let Dad know. And it's a good thing we're getting all our hay done. He's at the neighbors right across the road here. So that's going to be awesome. We're going to be done pretty soon. Hay is about what we expected. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. We've had worse. Well, Dad got kind of distracted by the neighbor. He stopped over, and I guess they're chatting a little bit. Wings over Wassa thing that they got at the airport. I've been watching. They got the F-18, and he's doing his thing. So I didn't really, I got a little bit of film of him because he kind of got like within maybe 5 miles of the house, and like banked in, went in for another run. and is loud as heck, but I couldn't get a really good shot of it. He was supposed to do it yesterday, but I guess they had like, his plane had issues and they had to bring another one in for him to fly or something. At least that's what I saw online. But yeah, so since I'm not here tomorrow, and we got all our hay baled, I'm not sure what our count was yet. Yeah, if you can hear that rumbling in the background, that's the jet flying around. So it must be louder than all heck over there. I know a couple people said they were going and they were going to get earplugs and take them with them. So, but I think it was a really good start to 2026 hay season. Hopefully it's good all the way through and we can, you know, maybe get a shot of rain, but then be dry for a little while, maybe get a little rain, dry rain, just so we can get this stuff in and we're not doing first crop at the end of July. But yeah, definitely a great start. Really nice day today. Hay was dry, it's in good shape, so it's pretty decent quality. I got at least 2/3 of our bales in the hay yard moved where we wanted to, but I do need to move the manure spreader and a gravity box so I can move stuff around final. Hope you guys liked the video. Please, on your way out, smash. I am talking here. Alright, so I hope you guys liked the video. Please, on your way out, smash that like button, help support the channel. And definitely, if you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Help support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. It's totally free. Just need a little support. Hit that subscribe button. Follow along for more. And see what we do for the rest of the hay season. And as always, thanks for coming along.